If you'd like to join in this short practice, you can go ahead and grab a yoga block and come onto your back. And I'm just here with my feet wider apart, knees gently falling in towards each other. Although if that's not comfortable for you, feel free to have knees pointing towards the sky. Hips nice and heavy, evenly balanced between right and the left side of my hips. Low back right above the hips, lifting up off the ground a little bit. I could slide a hand or two underneath my low back. Those muscles are engaged, but at the same time, my low ribs are settling down towards my spine. So my core in both front and back are engaged. Not so much that my hips are tucked under, my back's flat, not so that there's a big arch there, but again, a little lift through those back muscles, engagement through the core muscles in front. Shoulders nice and heavy on the ground, neck lifting up a little bit, back of head, chin in neutral, nice and heavy. Breathing here, nice, full, deep breaths. Just feeling the floor underneath you. And with your exhales, letting yourself settle into the support of the floor. Notice every place where your skin is touching the ground, where your body is in contact with the ground. And just letting yourself be heavy, letting yourself feel supported. Also, just letting yourself deeply connect to that current of the breath. As the breath flows through you, feeling the lungs expanding out on the inhales and softening back in on the exhales. And maybe as you do that, you want to bring your hands to the low ribs and feel the rib cage moving a bit with the breath. When you feel ready, you can go ahead, bring your feet to about hip distance apart, knees now facing towards the sky if they weren't previously. And keeping the natural curves of the spine, hips, shoulders, head anchoring down, low back lifting up a little bit, but the low ribs settling down, neck lifting up a little bit. Try not to move the hips or lose the core. With your next exhale, lift the right foot up off the ground, moving the right knee in towards the chest. And inhale and set the right foot back down. And the hips will move some, but just not a whole lot. Exhale, the left foot lifts, left knee moves in towards the chest. Inhale, setting the left foot back down. Exhale, right foot lifts, and right knee moves in towards the chest. Inhale and set back down. Exhale, left foot lifts, left knee moves in towards the chest. Inhale, set it back down. Exhale, right foot lifts, keeping the right foot lifted. Shoulders and head staying on the ground if possible, maybe even pressing down through the shoulders and the back of the head. Holding onto the right belly of the thigh with your hands. If it's too far away for you to hold on to the right belly of the thigh, you don't have to use your hands, or you can use a strap or a hoodie or something and toss that around the right thigh. Press the right leg out into your hands or the hoodie or the strap or whatever if you're using that. And then with your next inhale, straightening the right leg only as much as works for you, trying to keep the head and shoulders on the ground. Exhale and bend the right knee. Inhale and straightening the right leg. Exhale and bend the right knee. Inhale and straighten the right leg with the right leg straight-ish. Go ahead, release the hands. And again, trying to keep your core engaged. Try not to move the hips a whole lot. Slowly with control, taking as many breaths as you would like. Lower the right leg all the way down to the ground. Once the right leg's on the ground, go ahead and press that right leg into the ground. Feel balance between the right and the left side of your hips. Breathing here. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and bend the right knee. Set the right foot back on the ground. Again, try not to move the hips too much here. And then with your next exhale, lift the left foot up, feel the left knee moving in towards the chest, holding on to the belly of the left thigh with your hands, rooting down through the shoulders and the back of the head. And then inhale and straightening the left leg, however much works for you. Exhale and bending that knee. Inhale and straightening the left leg. Exhale and bending the left knee. Inhale and straighten the left leg with the left leg straightish. Holding here, breathing, nice full deep breath. Shoulders and back of the head staying anchored. Then releasing the left leg, trying not to move the hips a whole lot. Slowly with control, lowering the left leg down to the ground. Breathe. Nice, full, deep, complete breaths. Anchoring that left leg on the ground. Once it's there, feel both hips nice and heavy. Go ahead, extend the right leg straight as well, as if that works for you. If not, you can go ahead and intentionally bend your knees a little bit by anchoring down through the hips and the heels. Breathing. Grabbing the block long ways between your hands, extending the arms up to the ceiling, keeping the core engaged, trying not to move the hips a whole lot. Exhale, press the shoulders into the ground, feel the shoulders on the back a little bit more. Inhale, lift the shoulders off the ground, shoulders off the back. Exhale, press the shoulders into the ground, shoulder blades on the back. Inhale, lift the shoulders away from the ground, shoulder blades off the back. Exhale, shoulders anchoring into the ground, keep the shoulders pressing down. Inhale, stretch the arms up overhead, back for the wall behind you. Keep the core engaged, low ribs stay hugging in towards the spine. Exhale, arms back towards the ceiling. As you inhale, stretch the arms up overhead, anchoring down through the legs, low ribs hugging into the spine, but not so much the back flattens out. Exhale, arms back towards the ceiling. Inhale, stretching your arms up overhead, holding here, stretching forward through the legs, back to the hands, breathe. And then exhale, go ahead, bring the arms back up to the ceiling, pressing down to that left leg, trying not to move the hips that much. With your next exhale, bend the right knee, move the right knee in towards the chest, and then inhale, extending the right leg straighter towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to change the direction of the block to holding the skinny direction of the block between the hands, and then bringing your block and your leg into each other, if that works for you. Pressing the leg and the block in towards each other, but maybe pressing your leg into the block a little bit more than you're pressing the block into the leg. You can even release the left arm down, and just with your palms, so not grabbing onto the block, but just feeling that pressing to hold the leg in, or the block in place. Breathe here. Nice, full, deep breaths. And then go ahead, grab your block with the hands, rooting the shoulders down, and slowly, with control, lower the right leg down. Both legs straight, arms can go up overhead, shoulders staying anchored, core engaged, breathing here. And then exhale, go ahead, block back for the ceiling. Try not to move the hips too much. Go ahead, exhale, moving that left knee in toward the chest. Block in left hand or both hands. Straightening that left leg however much works for you here. Bring the block against the shin. Shin and block press in towards each other, but maybe leg pressing into the block a little bit more than your hand. Breathing here. Your right hand, if you wanted to, could bring to your hip or your thigh, just as a reminder to anchor down through that leg. Nice, full, deep, complete breaths. And then go ahead, grab the block with the left hand. Block for the ceiling, shoulders on the back. Slowly, with control, try not to move the hips a whole lot. Lower the left leg back down. Press down through the legs. You can stretch the arms up overhead again here with your shoulders anchoring down. Breathe. And then go ahead and bend your elbows. Put the block over to the side. Just as you're ready, you can bend the knees, hugging the knees maybe into the chest, coming into a ball. Your hips might tuck under a little bit when you come into a ball. That's fine. Just notice what's going on. And if all the weight moves out of your hips, if your hips start to lift up off the ground, maybe just shift a little bit of weight down into your hips in that case. And then coming back into center from here, lower the feet back to the ground. Again, your feet can be wide apart. Your knees can gently fall in towards each other. And you could come back to the position that you started in. Just letting yourself soften and settle here. Again, noticing all the places where your body is in contact with the floor. And just letting yourself release. Letting yourself feel held. And just notice any place now where the muscles might still be trying to work. With your exhales, letting those spots go. Imagining those particular muscles melting into the earth. Whenever you're as relaxed as you're going to get, you can let go of the conscious awareness of the breath. And just let yourself be here for however long you would like.